What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Joshua Schmidt absolutely wrecking the market. Usually I say the YCS does, and there's a couple of other things that did move, but his list has destroyed the market like none other before. And I guess that's what you get when you have a multi-time champion who's also a world's competitor that is a content creator out there. So there's a lot of love for him, and then he blindsides the community. Well, there were people talking about how they played a similar list before, as well as people in Zodiac talking about, you all laughed at me and said I was crazy for this, and then showing proof too that they were on this deck. Those kind of conversations are always fun, but Joshua Schmidt came in, he wrecked house, and if you had some of these cards, they've gone way up in price. And this time, he didn't have to face Billy to do it either. Before we get into that though, code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly works at head-to-head battle shop. I really like the Gear 5 Luffy with the tunes. That comparison was made a ton on the reveal of Gear 5, but I'm here to talk about their merch and apparel real quick. With the shirts specifically, these feel really nice. Whenever you hear YouTubers say, oh, it's a premium shirt, this is a thick and nice shirt, and the color almost feels embroidered. I'm sure that's to keep it well, and it is oversized. It's probably actually my biggest XL that I own. Whenever somewhere says oversized, I still feel like it's not really flowing. This is nice. So if you want a tighter fit, do size down. But I think they've done a great job. I love Susu and Jin. And again, code the What's Good 5 for 5% off and to support the channel directly for both channels actually over at their website. So let's go ahead and start with Duality real quick. This card is exclusive to Battles of Legend, has no reprints, and has been highly speculated upon multiple times that it would do good, but it was a question of when versus a reprint clock versus could Konami actually do something about this if it gets good. I don't think it's getting ban hammered or anything anytime soon, but Battles of Legend did not sell the best overall. When we're going through this set and we're looking, those boxes, they're not hot despite all the quarter century rares doing so, and that's what's making the quarter century rares hard to repopulate. And any secret rare that is exclusive to the set isn't the most pulled in the world versus years past here. The boxes are sitting there rotting on shelves despite a pretty strong look overall, because the inside value isn't as worth the top end value inside. But Duality doing well, not the most surprising. Guiding Quim though, and mixing and mashing all these engines, pretty incredible. And this doubled up in price. People need their goth mommies out here, and definitely $63, $64, even a sale at freaking $80. I can't believe that. It is wild to watch where this went from like overnight. Like, we can actually scroll down here, right, versus the beginning of the event, and it was just going for 35, 36 a couple days ago, man. It is just crazy to me to see how far in this list has gone. And Battles of Legend, the second most bought quarter century rare going back to the set, has gotten more expensive. Lowest listing $225 before $255 for Lubellion as people eat up this engine. But do keep in mind, this was already down to like 8-ish copies or sellers on the market, so there weren't the most listings to begin with. Now, this is what I find funny. Runic has very few movements. I do see things like Destruction from the 10s going down in quantities for the highest rarity being out of there, and people not wanting to rip the 10s open either. The flagship product of years past, and people just don't open enough for this to repopulate easily, but it's still pretty cheap for what it is. But yeah, the rest of the top end, it's not really going all that fast. Like, you look at Runic Fountain and the collector rare for Tip, and we'll talk about other collector rare buyouts from the YCS this weekend. Yeah, just absolutely no movement. I've talked about this with hated archetypes and decks before. Like, Magical Explosion Ultimate Rare is remembered in the history, and it's one that I even went on in my Ultimate Rare buy long ago, like right when the Crush card started, and people said, oh, there's nothing to buy. That's one I bought that didn't really age well. I thought it would. I thought over time people would explore degenerate decks in past formats, and that's not always remembered well. And a lot of people don't have fond feelings for Runic, and the top end of it really just still down bad despite being one of the top stars of what's going on there. The Fabled Unicorn was talked about, and by the way, his deck profile is amazing. I would go watch it directly after this video. How he breaks it down is just magnificent. I believe he talked about he wouldn't have missed this too much, but the DT it's easy to make old DT cards disappear, and it went and spiked up in price, and you can see a couple of buys in the crazy range prices. I made fun of this card a couple market watches ago for MSTTV's bad to pick, and look at it, just a week can change things on the market that fast. But it's not up in price yet. It's more so that it went from 70 different listers down to like 40 some odd. It's still one of the most listed quarter century secrets in the set, but it is going, its sales rate is going, and it's an auto $5 up here. It's just funny that you can be right for the wrong reasons or believe in potential with player brain, and it can eventually pay off as well. Denko Seka, I haven't said that name in a long time. The secret rares are moving. He said he wanted an auto win card against Rescue Ace, and that he would take out more normal summon cards to be able to put this in and eat a normal summon within his strategy, and the secret rare is moving up, although it looks like it had a bump before, so people were kind of onto this one as well. Droll and Lockbird Ultimate Rare, I noticed, is up over time. This could also be a combination of it not being in Rarity Collection. People were speculating if there would be changes, and then it also finding its way back into the format after falling a little bit, but not completely out of popularity. So the Ultimate Rare here really starting to rebound and go up in price. Phantasme secret rares have been going. This was also in his side deck, and you can see the unlimiteds were a lot cheaper before today. I believe the lowest are now $26 here on the American market. Maybe I should have done a bit of card market here too, considering it's Josh, right? It would have been funny to do the comparison. Let me know if you want to see that more in future videos. I know I have a big international audience, and I do bring it up here and there, but I feel like I need to do that more. Ariana has a buyout. Lovely Labyrinth has a buyout. Oh, look at all the runics right next to them, as well as Ariane. All the Labyrinth stuff overperformed versus people's expectations, and the collector rare shot back up in price for being top rarity of the deck. Again, not the hardest thing to do in the world, but still a lot of money actually at this point with how listings were, and now there's pretty much none of Ariana once again. It's just funny that runics are sitting here, the winner, like, and they look over at Labyrinth, who did do well, skyrocketing in the same set. That to me is peak comedy. Gizmek Uka went up in price. All I've been told is this is the pack tax. I haven't seen it in action, but Uka, we already talked about getting more traction before here on a buyout recently. It started to calm down, and it's gone back up in price. Finally, I wanted to mention real quick the Snake Eye Stuff, which has been speculated on for future formats, which likely will be doing very well for itself, including with Fire Kings. The original Sinful Spoils I brought up as a you should buy sooner than later when it was $4 last week. It is now $9. That's pretty crazy for the easiest access version. And then the Quarter Century Secret Rare also spiked along with it, so people are spending on the top end here once again, and it is towards $70 as well. I've never seen a single deck list run through the market where it is literally opening and talking about 1, 2, 3, not you, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different tabs on the subject of the list actually having movement and craziness. And to be fair, some of the lower end the runic stuff actually did start to go in terms of quantities, not price yet. I just wonder, like, what perfect storm could ever replicate this, besides, like, we're in this age of content creators also being players, and this is honestly what I love to see reactionarily in the market. Things that have proven results, things that took people by surprise, or that other people were already on and got rewarded for. That kind of stuff is really the best kind of movement in the market. It's not just people copying a deck list. Like, it's, yo, I want to try that out. I want to go and see this. And yo, it's the guy that I watched. That's my streamer. I tuned in during his run for the Master Duel Cup. And when that was going on, I could just see everything. He poured everything into that. He looked so dead by the end. And I tuned in for a good bit of chunk of the end, and I can't believe, like, just the amount that he puts into the game at this point still, and craves and goes after. And he said he accidentally did it. Like, That's some of the best ones. Like, Billy came back into it too. Sometimes the greats, they just have it in them like that, and they inspire others to take their game to the next level. Thanks for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Go ahead and check out Head-to-Head Battles merch and apparel over on their shop. I believe it's free shipping if you also get to 100. Code WHAT'S GOOD5 for 5% off and support both channels directly.